Here with Erik Barnes. Erik, start at the beginning and then work our way backwards. T21 doesn't probably sound like much, but it has to be like, I guess, where does it rank, Erik, in like importance, considering where you've been? Like, what does it mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously it's for me. It's definitely a top five finish of my life, even though it's a
Mhm,
T21.
mhm,
But that isn't to do with result as much as it is to do with where I have been since basically June or July of 2024.
mhm,
Obviously my second place finish in Puerto Rico was probably top of the list. And then you've got um, final rounds of Q school and um, stuff like that are really really have been important from a standings perspective and what it
mhm.
did for me as far as eligibility on Korn Ferry or PGA Tour. Um, but this is the most, I would say,
Mhm.
uh, mentally helpful finish of my entire life.
Yeah. All right, let's work our way backwards. You get injured, Erik. Do the struggles start there, or do they start at like you played well once you came back? But was there like loose swings in there that had you concerned? Where does the process like what start? Do you remember where it started?
Yeah, I do. So obviously I had knee surgery when I was on the PGA Tour in 2023, and I was out 10 months, played really well when I first came back.
Mhm,
I don't remember exactly how many cuts it was in a row, but I made the first X amount of cuts in a row, five, six, seven, something like that.
mhm,
I had a loss in a playoff at the Puerto Rico Open in a four-hole playoff, and then played well, like maybe 11th or 12th in Houston a couple weeks later, and got myself into an elevated field event. Played my way into Harbor Town, and I started hanging some balls out to the right a little bit in Harbor Town,
mhm,
and brought my coach in New Orleans, and we worked on making sure the ball wasn't hanging right because I was a draw player. I was a right to left player. And for me, I know this is probably contrary to what most people would say. I hated hitting the ball right.
mhm.
Like I hated a ball starting right and hanging or fading. I hated it. I would rather overdraw one into the left rough every day of the week rather than hang one into the right rough. Well, we tried to work on it. It didn't really get better. We had a few weeks off in right before Rocket Mortgage in 24. We worked on some things to try to get the ball to start straighter so it wasn't hanging out to the right. And then I got to Detroit and it was pretty good. It was okay. And I'd have these freak balls that would start right and go right.
Mhm.
And they weren't crazy, crazy right like they got eventually. But it was around Rocket Mortgage, and then John Deere was really bad. Like I started hitting some balls at John Deere like really far right. And
When does like I don't know if the right word's freak out, Erik, but when does like the anxiety, the panic start when you start seeing those? Is it the first ball or you're like you've hit enough bad wayward shots in your life
yeah,
you're like, okay, okay, or we're gonna work on it, we're gonna work on it. But eventually that's like what we're working on is not working, and now I'm hitting
right.
some foul balls.
Yeah, I would say probably John Deere is when the kind of the
Mhm,
freak out happened. I mean,
mhm,
I would say that I hit a ball on 18 at John Deere closer to the clubhouse parking lot than I did the fairway. And that was the first ball that I was like, oh, wow, that is really right. I mean, it was 60 yards right of the fairway. And we came to kind of realize over time, within probably the last 6 or 7, it's probably 6 months, that I think I was compensating for my knee surgery and pushing
mhm,
off my left leg and finishing on my right leg and dumping the club way under and high handle and getting the face wide open. And um, And it just, I think it happened over time after the knee surgery, because when I first came back, it wasn't that way. And I think, but I was playing, after every round, I was icing my knee. I was playing with a sore knee.
Mhm.
In hindsight, maybe I came back too early. I don't know, obviously, but that's what we came to find out eventually, that I just started pushing off my left leg, finishing on my right leg, getting underneath it, exposing the face wide open, stuff like that. But the big freak out moment was John Deere in 24.
So, like right after the John Deere, Eric, what do? Do you go home and you're like, we gotta fix this, and then the process of finding new coaches, like that's it, right? Is like you get in this like world of like who's gonna fix it, how to fix it. I assume there's a lot of
Right.
people that are like offering you help and you don't know
Yeah.
where to turn. Like
Correct.
that's the weeds of like struggling like this, right?
It
It's like,
is. Yeah.
oh, this worked for this guy. Well, yeah, might not work for me, dude. Like, I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to name a coach's name. He
Yeah,
was awesome, and I give him a
yeah,
ton of credit for getting me on the PGA Tour to begin with.
yeah,
Sometimes those things run their course,
yeah.
and I stuck with him through the early part of 25. And sorry, my
You're good.
baby,
You're good.
baby's crying in the background.
Oh, good.
He was with me in Puerto Rico this last week, and he did great. But I guess falling at home makes him cry.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, so I was. We worked through it. The problem, the PGA Tour is especially the back half of the season, you're playing like almost every week with a week off here and there. And I didn't reach out for help from anywhere else. I thought we could fix the problem. And I had some decent weeks in there, like in Utah in 24, I think it was like October of 24. I was hanging around the top 20, midway through the weekend,
Yeah.
driving it pretty good, right? The ball was drawing, like it was going nicely. And for me, like those 1 week, they're like, okay, it's still there, right? Like this can be saved, right? This doesn't need to be an overhaul, some major change. This can be saved. And unfortunately, after that week, and I'm embarrassed to say this, that's the last cut I made on the PGA Tour, Korn Ferry Tour, DP World Tour till this last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it didn't get better, unfortunately.
And it got worse, right, Eric? I mean, like,
Yeah.
I'm looking back at scores last year. And again, to your point of the event you were just talking about, it's like you can see a guy on a scoreboard shoot 80 and he's closer than you think. And you can see a guy who shoots 68 and he walks off the golf course and is like, oh, well, things are not good.
Right.
And so now we get through that season and then it just continues downwards. So then you switch coaches, like you start, I assume that panic, Eric, just like kind of takes over, right? It's like, I was physical started it, but now you're like, oh my God, I got to get this fixed. Like we're in a bad spot here.
Yeah. I was terrified to play golf in 25. After the PGA Tour ended in 24, the week before Thanksgiving, I didn't touch a club until I think it was like New Year's or right after Christmas, because I was like, this is just going bad. I need to step back and reset. And hopefully when I come back, things kind of have improved and my body's reset and got healthy and all these things. But yeah, I mean, I was in full panic mode. Like I was terrified to play golf. I didn't want anybody to see me hit golf balls. I didn't want to play a practice round with anybody. I would purposely like wait on hit balls on the range on one end of the range away from people. And I would wait until like the first or 10th tee had nobody on it. I'd run over there and hit one ball real quick, no matter where it went, and teed off and didn't want to play with anybody. I was a full mental case, man. It was really, really bad. And yeah, go ahead.
And that's the stuff you don't see, Eric. And I told this story in the tweet, but it's like, I saw you in the Bahamas, followed you for a couple holes in the practice round. You get to 2, which is relatively easy driving hole. And you sprayed one right, teed one up, hooked one left, teed
Yeah.
one up, sprayed one right. And I was like, what the hell do I say to him? Like, nothing
Yeah.
I can offer. And so I just go, all right, see you later. And that's it. Like, that's the world you live in. Is like, I
Yeah.
assume friends, caddies, they don't know what to do. They don't know what
No.
to say. And it just kind of like consumes you.
Yeah, and it was horrible. It was the worst experience of my entire life in anything. And
Mhm.
to your point, like what can you say? What can you do? I mean, there's nothing you can do. And
Yeah.
again, going back to the last question, I stuck with my coach for a while, hoping this would figure itself out. But
Mhm.
shortly into the new year, I decided I needed to make a change, and I went and saw somebody else, and not who I'm currently working with, Grant Waite. And I saw
Mhm.
him a few times, and we worked on some things. He gave me his input, and it just like the problem was I never in these guys' defense, I never gave them an opportunity for a full-on rebuild to just
Mhm.
do whatever you got to do. I mean, I'll deal with it. I was trying to play through it, all these things. And when I stopped playing after LeCom in Sarasota, I stepped away for 3 months. I was call it depressed. Like, I mean, didn't know what to do with my life. I saw my career wasting away. Um, I had been at a really high level of the game a year previous, and all of a sudden I felt like the worst. Oh, there we go. Sorry, someone
There
was
you go.
calling in. I felt like the worst professional golfer in the world,
Mhm.
and I didn't know what to do. And I was home 3 months. I knew I had this DP World Tour status, and I was like, I can sit at home and work on it, and watch this status waste away to nothing, or I can reset for 3 months and try to go back out there and see how it is. Well,
Mhm.
that was also a terrible decision because I went out there and never made a cut and averaged probably the same number.
Mhm.
And then I withdrew after the first round of the Omega European Masters in August last year. And I decided that I had two options. I either quit or fix it.
Mhm.
And I decided that I didn't want to quit because I love the game and I've been doing it my whole life. So I reached out to Grant Waite Thursday night of the Omega European Masters and said, I'm lost. I'm a complete rebuild. Do whatever you want to do because I
Mhm.
cannot do this anymore. I mean, I'm
Mhm.
miserable.
Yep.
And I flew home that night. And 2 days later, we started a complete rebuild. I think it was like August 30th or August 31st. And it's just been nothing but fixing golf swings since then.
Was that moment mentally freeing, Eric? Yeah, obviously,
Hey,
there's a
I'm
ton
having
there.
some technical difficulties
Uh,
here, Ryan.
you're
I
good.
can't hear you.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
I don't know what to do here.
All right, hold on.